And in terms of interview prep, Lyndon, what are people missing?
All right. So I'm going to give you a sort of a pro tip here, and something that that I think would help people out is you've got the STAR method. I
Yes.
don't follow the STAR method personally. Some people, you're more than welcome to do that. The way that I talk about interview prep is you've got to, first off, you've got to understand. You've got to understand the value that you're able to bring to a role. Okay. And you've got to kind of own your value. So you've got to be able to speak in terms of, the impact, your significance, your relevance to the role, how you can make them better. It's not about you. It's about the value you can bring. They're not yes, they're hiring you, the person, but what they're actually buying is what you can do to their bottom line, what you can do to improve the team, or to improve performance. Okay, so you've got
Yes.
to learn to speak in those terms, and that's very important. And to help yourself out, I think everybody these days is familiar with ChatGPT, and you can go into ChatGPT and you can say, create or provide me with some model questions and answers, for my interview. And if you prompt it correctly, you can get really good questions and model answers that you can use. I don't suggest that you try and memorize the answers. You've got to learn the language, of answering correctly. If you try and memorize, you're going to get into the interview and you're going to be nervous. And nervousness doesn't sell. So nervousness will actually dig a hole for yourself. So you want to enter the room, you want to own your value, you want to show up as the specialist in the room because they're hiring you for a specific set of skills, and you want to be highly confident in those skills so that when you talk about them, you talk about them with authority and a persuasive authority. And that's about the best advice that I can give in terms of interview prep, aside from doing your due diligence on the company and understanding who they are and what they're about. The worst thing you can do is try and wing it. That's the worst thing that you can do. A lot of people get it right, but just to give you a story quickly, Vic, is I had a guy who had lined up the ideal role for himself, came over, was struggling, and then got this ideal role, this interview, went into it and just lost his words, just sat there with a mouthful of teeth. They asked him that simple question that everyone dreads: tell us a little bit about yourself. And he couldn't get a word out of his mouth, and he lost the role. So interview preparation is critical, because you need to persuade them. You need to, especially, coming from being an international, coming from South Africa, not being local, you want to give them some compelling reason to like you, to believe you, to buy into you. It doesn't help for you to show up there and try and wing it. And then also when you're winging it, you start speaking a whole bunch of nonsense. You start over speaking and overselling, and that's the wrong thing to do.